it's Kenji here with Ecotone Explorer. We're here at Outdoor Retailer Summer Market 2019, and we're here in the Cliff Bar booth. We're visiting with Beaver Theodosakis. Beaver is the legendary founder of prAna, of Bad Boy Club, of Life's a Beach. We've known each other a long time, and you've done some amazing, innovative things and continue to contribute to the industry still. But we're here to talk about the edges of the outdoor world and how innovation and inspiration comes from outside to the outdoors and flows the other direction too. Before we go there, can you tell us a little bit about your career arc? How did you come to outdoor?
Well, it started, my wife Pam and I pretty much fell into climbing and coming out of motocross and surfing. Got into climbing, a friend took us and just fell in love with it. At the time I was transitioning out of these other surf businesses and kind of clean slate and looked around the marketplace and said, wow, there's really not anyone doing anything cool in the outdoor industry, apparel-wise, well, for climbing specifically. So we felt there was a niche to kind of bring street styling with performance, and that's what we did with prAna, or tried to do. And then at the same time, we were introduced to yoga from a different friend, and really we're enjoying that path in yoga and what we're learning there about movement, about breath, about the meditation qualities, and we found so much of the same in climbing and yoga. They were really different forms of movement, but we were getting the same kind of meditative qualities out of them.
Excellent, excellent. And that is a great example of a business ecotone that prAna really brought to life, was this place where climbing and active outdoor interests matched up with really what was an indoor activity for the most part, yoga, in studios and such. That was a sort of a booming movement at the same time. And so how did you integrate those two things and bring that to the market, and what was the market's response?
Well, at first we were afraid to integrate the two because the cultures were so different. You know, 20-something climbers over here living out of their vans, whatever. Then you had the yogis here, which are predominantly older females, and so we were a little bit afraid. So, well, we had ambassadors in both genres. Some of the highest profile climbers and yogis, and so we just started to dabble and cross-pollinate the two with events like we go to a climbing event like Red Rock Rendezvous or climbing competitions, and we say, hey, let's do a little thing where we have a yoga class for climbers to warm up before they compete or before they get out there and climb. And then we'd bring our famous yogis to those climbing events. And then on the other hand, there was like Wanderlust and these other yoga festivals where we brought Chris Sharma, our top climber, to make fun of him while he tried to do yoga. And did some cross-pollinating there. And then as we did our consumer catalogs, we slowly started to bring the two ideas together, where you'd be getting a climbing catalog that was really in the past pure climbing, and we started to bring some yoga into that, and then vice versa in the yoga catalogs. Till one day, I think probably 6-7 years in, we said, okay, I think there's enough acceptance here between these two markets. We're the form is just different, but we're really talking about this idea of moving meditation. And that catalog was called Moving Meditation. And that's when, it was probably 98 or so, I think it was, 99. And that's when we brought the two, yoga and climbing, together.
Coming together with the catalog, that was the unified catalog, or the fusion catalog, which was a meditation in movement?
Moving meditation, we called it.
Moving meditation. So once you did that, you established sort of a fusion brand that attached to both. So how did you roll forward with that as a company?
You know, then they were never separate. It was really yoga and climbing were used in the same sentences because they shared so much of the same philosophy and so much of the same attributes and qualities that it just kind of became one.
Was that your mission as a brand?
Well, at the beginning, in the early days, our vision was to be a household name in yoga and climbing in 5 years. So we didn't look elsewhere. We weren't distracted by other markets. We didn't sell to people outside of those worlds. It was yoga studios and climbing shops. The most influential ones we started, and then started to bring that out globally. But it was really just about super tight focus and being meaningful to those core that core audience.
Well, it's one of the greatest stories of bringing sort of the outside the outdoor world in and creating a whole movement. I think, being a big fan.
We didn't create it. We were part of it, but
well. I can't name another brand that did something like that. But, even continuing forward, like I think yoga and climbing are synonymous now. And if you tell me what you see in the climbing gym movement, which is another hugely growing, dynamic, separate industry that touches outdoor for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, we've seen, in the early days when climbing gyms were just plywood and holds in somebody's garage.
Oh, you've been to my place. The Woody.
Many like it, including one I had in my backyard. And now I think there's a stat with the Climbing Wall Association, it's official stat, that over 75% of the climbing gyms being built have yoga studios built in them.
Yeah.
So it's now synonymous. And you go to events, pretty much every climbing festival or event has yoga.
Yeah. Climb Smart does, which is the one in Joshua Tree.
Yep.
And my gym, which is the oldest gym in Southern California, the Rock Creation, just added a yoga studio. So even the old ones are trying to get on board with it.
So it's a big trend that we saw. I can't say that we saw it coming. We were into yoga and climbing because those are two passions of ours. So, and the apparel that we made really crossed over. You had to have moisture management. You had to have freedom of movement, and then we brought the style to that. And so, in many cases, the same thing you could be doing yoga and you could climb a rock with.
Yeah.
So
no, it's an amazing story, and so thanks for spending a little time with us, telling us about your arc there. And so, tell me about what's next for you, Beaver. What's the future hold for you as the founder of these brands and really one of the legendary leaders of our industry?
Thanks. Well, I'm getting old. I'm going to be 61 in a month or so. So starting to slow down, no more heavy lifting business-wise for me. I'll dabble in things and mentor people where I can, sit on some nonprofit boards. And the most one dear to my heart is the Outdoor Foundation, which is all about getting kids active in the outdoors. So I've been on that board for 11 years now. And I think I time off next year, finally. So I'm looking to contribute even after I'm off the board.
So yeah, Beaver, you've been a board member of the Outdoor Foundation for almost 12 years, 11 years. And the Outdoor Foundation's mission is around getting young people out. Tell us how that's changed over the years that you've been there.
Well, more and more, we're really targeting urban centers and people of diversity, finding out that with the research we've done that they have a very chance of really being introduced to the outdoors with the curriculums in school and the things that they're into. They're just not getting there. There's science now proven that when you take people, not just kids, outdoors, they're healthier. Peace of mind, actual blood pressure lowers. Studies on playgrounds with kids with the same exact playground equipment in a cement setup and pavement, and put that same equipment under trees and grass. They're more collaborative. They're happier. They're in better states. So we're finding there is all behind it. There's doctors that are prescribing the outdoors, 2 hours of outdoor activity for people that are sick. There's the hospital thing where you put people by trees in a window and they get better quicker. It's proven now. There's enough data out there to say that taking people outdoors is healthy, and it's not just physical health; it's mental health. With childhood obesity, depression at all-time high, it's even that more critical to take people that would never have those chances and introduce them to the outdoors. And that's what the foundation's work is all about. And then making it a habit, making it a lifelong habit. So it's not a one-time event. Hey, we went to this national park and it was great. But how do we create a habit in their lives? And with the big goal way out on the horizon is to change society, to have a happier, healthier people globally, because they are outside. Outside is the cure. I've seen it with my own daughters. They can be at each other's throat, fighting when they were teenagers, and okay, family hike, let's go. Pam and I and the girls go out on a family hike, and 45 minutes later, after skipping over some rocks and crossing some water, and the dogs following us, they're singing, they're holding hands, or whatever before that is gone, and just they're in a whole different place.
There is something about moving through wild places together or alone that is healing, and I think that it's like the research, like you said, is just coming out, but it's something that we haven't quite found our voice on. Like I see this in the music industry where they say, making music makes you smarter. Like, well, who doesn't want to be smarter, and who doesn't want their kids to be smarter? And so all the parents, all of us, want our kids to play instruments and be musical because we know it benefits them. And we're just coming around to that, it feels like, in outdoor. And it's part of it is the science under it that is still emerging, really, right?
True. New studies coming out all the time, and we're on top of those with the foundation. And our goal is also research to track these trends, to track behavior, to track the habit forming and how it changes people's lives, not just the number of people we get out there.
Right.
It's long-term sustainable change. And it's a gigantic vision, a long road. Got a lot of great people contributing, and we're really trying to get, there's so many disjointed groups doing great work like this, but our goal with the foundation now is to get more people under an umbrella to where it's a more choreographed process.
Awesome. Well, I'm a big fan and supporter, so whatever I can do to be part of that, my motivation on that.
Oh yeah.
So, well, thanks for taking some time, Beaver. It's great to hear sort of more detail under your story, and it's great to see you here at Outdoor Retailer. We're here with Ecotone Explorer. If you're interested in this kind of content, make sure you subscribe and leave us a note, and you'll find more interesting and intriguing connecting points to the outdoors. So thanks again, man.
Thank you, Kenji.
All right. See you around, brother.
All right.